Hi everyone, so I got a few messages asking how I make my custom makeup faces for humans and how I can help people improve theirs a little bit more. So in today's video I'm going to be showing you how to make really cute human faces and give you tips on how to improve your own. So starting off with this face, I'm going to try to fix it a little bit and make it a little bit more better, a little bit more cute, and point out the mistakes that some people make when they make faces like this. So this isn't really a bad face to start with. It's kind of mismatched and the things don't really go very well together, which is what makes it look not as good. So if we start with the eyes, I feel like these eyes, it's a very common color I see because it's this one up here. These eyes, I feel like they're maybe a little bit too bright. I feel like when you darken them a little bit, they honestly look a lot better. I'm not going to stick with these eyes just because I feel like there's better ones that suit my style more. These ones are very cartoon eyes. If you're doing some sort of like Disney cosplay or something, these might be a little bit cuter. If you do want to use a color palette, I feel like these browns always look so good. I personally love a brown eye, so I would usually go like around here. You don't want it too light because then it stands out a little bit too much. I feel like there is like perfect. You can still see the definition of the color, but it's less than if it was to be really light. So yeah, for the eyes, I have been obsessed with these ones. I'm gonna go with these eyes just because I feel like they're so cute. What throws me off now is the eyebrows. These eyebrows don't really match, and I feel like these eyebrows are very short as well. So what I usually aim to go for is something a little bit longer. These ones are also really cute. If you want short eyebrows, these ones are cute. I usually tend to go for these eyebrows. I feel like these are really cute and they are long enough to the point where they make the face shape nice as well. I also don't like making eyebrows black. I feel like that's too dark. Actually, on these eyebrows it's not too bad, but I do like to go a little bit lighter with the eyebrows just so that it doesn't stand out too much compared to the rest of the face. For the lips, this lip color is fine. It's not really for me. Also, these lips aren't really my style. These ones were just added. I feel like they have a really cute definition, and this color I'm not a fan of. I like to go somewhere over here and then darken it, and then if you just move your mouse around, I feel like somewhere like that looks so much better. The color works just a lot better with the face, I feel like. So yeah, those are the lips I'm going to be sticking with. Also, I feel like brown lips on most skin tones looks so good compared to the bright pink. If you don't know what lip color to use, I would definitely recommend using the brown lips. So for the highlights, I'm currently wearing the base skin tone. I'm going to put this on. This doesn't really add that much to the skin tone. It doesn't really add that much highlight because the skin is already so light. So what I would recommend doing is going into the changing room. The highlight is fine, but if you just darken your skin tone a little bit like that, you have a similar skin tone, but your highlight is so much more. Like your face stands out a lot more with that. If you're not a fan of the really bright highlights, I also really like using this highlight here. I feel like this highlight is really cute. It doesn't add too much of a highlight to the face, but the blush that it adds so much detail. I think it adds so much definition. I personally prefer using this one just because I can add blush later on and get a similar effect with the deeper highlight down the middle. So I'm going to keep this nose. I actually really do like this nose. It's fun. So as you can see, you can change the color here. I do like to move the color up a little bit. This is fine. It's really cute still. Me personally, I love a bit of blush and I feel like it just makes the nose look so much more realistic. So I'm going to move it up like that. I feel like that's so cute and it just makes the face look a bit more flushed, and me personally, I think it looks a bit more feminine. And then another thing that I add in every single look without fail is these freckles, and then I change them to black. I don't know if that makes any difference with the color. I think it makes it a little bit darker. You see how much difference that adds without the freckles and then with? It looks honestly so much better and the detail comes out so much. For the blush, similarly to the lips, if you put a color like this on, it does not work well with the skin tone. You want to find a color that works better with the skin tone. So like this is really nice. I also really like orange blushes. So like this, I think looks really nice, opposing to like a bright pink or even a purple. You don't want to go too pink. It looks unrealistic. A common mistake I see with people making human faces is that people like to use every single custom makeup slot, which is fine. It's just that sometimes if you use the wrong things, if you add more things like this, I think it takes away from the look overall if you're trying to go for like a natural human. So sometimes I think using less actually works better. This is fine. I do like stuff like this. And also you can change the color if you want it to match your outfit a little bit more. I like to keep these things on just like plain white. I feel like they match with the skin tone pretty well anyway. Piercings are fine if you want to use piercings. I would say definitely yes, do that. So what I like to do is I like to find something like this. I feel like this adds a lot of detail to the eyes. It does lighten it a little bit so you can darken it if you want, but it adds the little white corners there, which brings the attention more to the middle of the face. So that's my general process of how I make a face. I asked Mantraxia to make a face with some mistakes and some things that could be improved so that I could show everyone how to improve it and the steps I would take and the things I would avoid in making a face. So this is the face that I was given to improve. It's not a terrible face, but there are many mistakes in the face that could be fixed to make the face look better. So I did change the last one quite a bit. I'm going to try and keep this one a very similar vibe, but just tweak a few things so that it looks as good as it can. So to start off with the eyes, I am going to keep the eyes. I do like these eyes. The white color, it's a little bit much. It kind of leans more into the ethereal theme, I think. It's too bright. So what we can do there is if you want to go to like a blue, somewhere around there is fine. It's like a cool toned blue. I feel like it's not all the way up here. It's not like a neon. It's not the very vibrant color. It's kind of down here. It's more of a cool toned blue, but it still has the lightness that you would want from like a blue eye instead of just the bright white. That's just my personal choice. I know a lot of people do really like the white eyes. I feel like it does take me out of the realism of a human outfit. For these eyebrows, I don't know if you can see, but they're a little bit pixely around the edges, so they're not the ones I would go for. And again, they're completely black. I feel like they're just very dark and I would turn them down just like a little bit. Like there, I feel like it looks so much better already with these eyebrows. I am going to change and see if I can find some better ones that have a similar kind of vibe. So these ones I really like. They have a similar vibe, as in they go more up towards the middle. Again, the quality is just like a lot better. For the lips, I'm going to keep the lips, but again, I'm going back to the point where this color is absolutely not the right color. It's a really nice color. I just think for this skin tone, it might not work as good as it should. This color, if you wanted to go for a pink, I feel like maybe this color works a little bit better and it also blends into the skin tone a little bit more. It doesn't stand out as much, but it still has the same effect. So here we're completely wasting this section. I see that he already put a highlight in this other section. So here, if we didn't want to use this to brighten up the face a little bit more, because it already has the highlight, we could use, again, like I said, something like this. It sculpts the face out a little bit more here. The big mistake I see with this last section, the highlight that he put is on top of the nose. It's number 2 here and it's number 1 here. You can drag these. So if I drag the nose here on top of the highlight, that problem is instantly solved. It looks so much more defined and it looks like the nose isn't under like fog. So already we've fixed that problem. And then again, like I said earlier, we can drag that up to have the blushed nose effect. I'm going to remove this blush. That isn't my blush of choice. It does look good. I feel like for me, it's a little bit much. It's very bright and it's also kind of hard to tone down. So I'm going to take that off, which strips the face back a little bit. So we're going to add a blush back on. I enjoyed this blush. If we turn it to like that color, I think that's really nice. It's not too much. If you do find it to be too much, you could always drag it down. What you don't want to do is go all the way up into the red or go for like a vibrant color, because then that is simply too much. You want to go for somewhere around the middle but closer to the bottom so that you have a more of like a natural color. Again, like I said, we definitely want to add the freckles. Instantly that just levels the look up all the way, and it fills in the blank spots around the face, like in the forehead, in the nose, and in the places next to the nose. It just looks so much better, I think. What you want to avoid is adding things like this and like this, which is what I see a lot of people doing, just because obviously it's a very simple face because it's a human, but people like to add a lot of eyeshadow to make up for the fact that it's a simple face. We don't want to do that. If you want to add just like a simple eyeshadow, that is very fine. You could maybe go for something like this. It still adds a little something to the look. Obviously, it just depends on the look because the colors are a little bit, sometimes they don't work with what you're going for. But something like this could definitely look good instead of adding something like this. I think if the theme is just like an everyday casual human outfit, I don't think this is the look that you are gonna want. But yeah, this look gives the same vibe as the look that we started with, but to me personally, I feel like it just looks elevated, it looks more natural, and it looks a little bit more realistic as well. But yeah, that was my tutorial on how to make really good human faces and how to improve your faces that you've already made, as well as mistakes to avoid in the future when making more human faces. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and maybe even subscribe. Also comment and let me know what your favorite tip was from this video. Thank you so much for watching.